93.7 The Ticket. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC Studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Stainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. This is the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Stainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary are with you today. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. It's going pretty good.
Good.
Had some leftover pizza for lunch. I'm feeling good. I'm re-energized.
Rachel comes back tonight?
Yes, thank goodness. But she won't be back till like 9:30 or like 10 o'clock, so the kids should be asleep by then.
Okay, we have a lot to get to, and I'm kind of excited for today's show. But quickly, what did you have for dinner last night? Not Red Baron?
What did I have for dinner? I had 5 pizza rolls.
That's it.
I made more
pizza rolls.
Oh, I made more. I only got to eat 5.
All right.
Ellie had applesauce and like 2 pizza rolls. She just wasn't feeling the pizza rolls, even though she asked for them. And some Doritos. And KJ didn't let me put him down. Although he wasn't yelling, he just didn't want to be put down. And I was like, I just don't want to deal with this. So I ate 5 pizza rolls and had a plate of them sitting next to me and couldn't get to them because he wouldn't let me. And also they went cold. It was very sad.
Shoot. All right. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, it's good. You're excited. You're excited. I can tell.
Yeah, we got a lot to get to. It's signing day. Happy signing day. Nebraska has added 2 players into their class. That is now, I believe they are up to about 18 new faces that are already enrolled, not counting transfers. So what does that mean on a signing day? It means Scott Frost press conference. So so we have quite a bit of audio that I want to get through. And as I was kind of recording the press conference and listening through it, there was a lot of interesting things about Casey Thompson, about the quarterback room, the running back room, and special teams as well. Because, and I want to bring up this tweet that Parker Gabriel, the Lincoln Journal-Star, tweeted out a little bit ago. And to think about what Nebraska has done in the last 3-4 months is kind of remarkable. Now, you guys know me. I've been firmly on the boat of it's got to be about results. You guys know me. I've been in that boat. But today I kind of am ready to, and here I go. I'm kind of ready to think about how this could be a positive thing. And I'm ready to talk it through. So,
are you considering putting Kool-Aid in your cup?
No, I'm not going to put. I don't know about Kool-Aid.
But are you thinking about it?
It has crossed my mind.
You were like, I need to see whoever makes the Kool-Aid, and I need to see how it's made. But now you're just like, you're looking at it, and you're like, looks pretty good.
Well, because once again, I'm going to let myself get fooled. They're saying a lot of really encouraging and positive things that you guys will hear. Exactly. Here momentarily. We'll also talk to Aaron Sorensen of Hail Varsity here at 2:30 or around that time whenever the Scott Frost press conference kind of subsides and all that. But like I said, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Tell me where your Kool-Aid level's at with signing day. There's a lot of stuff going on with Husker football before we kind of take a break and then spring ball really ramps up. Or I guess, how are you feeling just in general about this team? So let us know. 402-464-5685. Any comments, any questions, any thoughts, please send them in on the text line or on the video stream, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Okay, so Parker Gabriel tweeted out earlier today, in the last 3 months, Scott Frost has turned over half of his coaching staff, and the Huskers have added 22 new scholarship players, 12 of those being high school and JUCO, and 10 transfers. New offensive coordinator, coach, new special teams coach, 3 new quarterbacks, Richard Torres, Chubba, and Casey, revamped the specialist group, the wide receiver room, the running back room, and defensive back room, a major on-the-fly overhaul. That's in 3 months. So
why does it seem like it's taken forever?
Yeah, this staff has put in the work. So you cannot say one of the comments that not only I had, but I believe Rico was in this boat too, of you need to make a change. You need something needs to change. Well, they're doing that. So on the positive side of that, it's all right. They're doing what they need to do. They're at least trying something, which is better than the alternative, just trying to do the same thing over and over. Now that's off the field. Now the second part, unfortunately, we won't be able to see if it's manifested until August, unfortunately. So let's dive in. Scott Frost spoke to the media a little bit today. Rubber Duck from LinkedIn says, I'm drunk off the Kool-Aid. Welcome.
Beautiful.
Welcome, Rubber Duck.
No, you can't say welcome. You're not in the Kool-Aid bath.
All right.
I'm floating in it.
Rico's, are you going to drown?
Dude, I'm floating in it. I've got one of those inflatable things that you lay on in the pool, and I'm chilling right now. And I just got a cup next to me. It's got a little cup holder. I got a cup, and I just and I take a swig, put it right back down. I'm chilling.
So, okay, Empty Dumpster. Who? Empty Dumpster. Is this your first text into the text line? I do not. Or
I don't
for
know.
our show.
Maybe.
I don't recognize that name. They say with all the scholarships going out and being over on scholarships, what do you think they do with the extra ones? They are over. Who do you see leaving? We'll get to that as we go along. There was a couple Scott Frost things that I really want to get to. Let me go back to the clips here. So let's just start at quarterback, because there's been a lot of talk about Casey Thompson, and these next couple clips are going to be about Casey Thompson. So let's just start with the general oversight of how Scott Frost feels about Casey Thompson. So here's Scott Frost on what does he like about their new quarterback, Casey Thompson.
Yeah, first of all, his dad's an option quarterback, and I have a soft spot in my heart for Tommy Frazier and Eric Crouch and Turner Gill and D. Dowis and even Mickey Joseph. It's a dying fraternity, but I got to see his dad the other day, and it was great to see and talk a little football with him. The biggest thing I've noticed so far, we haven't gotten a chance to see him do much with the football or anything, but the biggest thing I notice already is just the leadership coming from those guys and the energy coming from those guys. And that's what a quarterback's supposed to do, supposed to pick up the level of play from everybody around him. And that's tough to do in your first week on campus or your first 2 weeks on campus, but he's doing it. Look forward to working with him, have Coach Whipple work with him. Same with Chubba has been doing a great job with that too, along with the other quarterbacks. But we need leadership from that position, and we need a guy that's going to say, hey, get behind me. We're going to go win this thing, and I'm going to lead you there. And you get that feel from those guys.
So there's kind of Scott Frost and just the general thoughts on Casey Thompson. Noticed he mentioned Chubba Purdy as well. Now, all these things, you guys know how I like to operate. I want to leave everything open-ended for you guys to think about. So I'm going to ask a lot of questions to you, Rico. Notice how he talked about Chubba Purdy? Nobody else. Just something to think about. I'm not trying to read too much into it.
But you're definitely going to read too much.
But I'm just saying, let's leave this open for interpretation and thoughts.
Let's read into it.
So later on, staying on the quarterback thought, Scott Frost was kind of asked throughout the transfer portal, and NIL has been a big discussion throughout this offseason, obviously, because it's the first real transfer portal season that it's really been going on, right? And so he was asked blatant, not in a roundabout way, basically, were you going to be able to get a guy of Casey Thompson's caliber without NIL? And here's what Scott Frost had to say.
Quarterback's so unique because there's one that's going to play at every school, and he's coming here to compete for the chance to do that. As some of these quarterbacks were bouncing around like lotto balls, there's only so many landing spots because some guys have their guy. We were one of the schools once our quarterback from last year left that I think a lot of people were interested in, and feel good about where we landed.
I'm going to read into the fact he didn't even say his name.
He didn't say Adrian Martinez.
I'm going to read into that.
Also, or maybe, well, this wasn't last year, I guess, but Luke McCaffrey, who is now wide receiver.
I saw what you quote tweeted. Rice's head coach said Luke McCaffrey has moved to wide receiver.
Wait. Luke McCaffrey playing wide receiver?
Who would have thought of that? Hey, Rice being innovative.
What if
moving
Rice,
a really good athlete to wide receiver?
What would be more alarming is if Rice was the first school that Luke McCaffrey talked to that mentioned moving him to wide receiver.
I wonder if
That
Rice offered
could
him
be
a
a-
scholarship out of high school
That could be a
to
problem.
be a wide
To be a wide receiver. All right, back to Nebraska. So building off of that last kind of comment, there was the directly following that comment, our very own Steve Sipple said, now, Coach Frost, will there actually be a quarterback competition? Because the narrative out there is Casey Thompson's going to be the starter. He came here to be the starter. And here is what Scott said.
Yeah, that's not my narrative. There's a lot of narratives around that aren't really based in fact. He's going to have every opportunity to start, and he knows that. The other guys are going to get their opportunities too. And we got a long time to work with him and a spring ball and a fall camp to figure it all out.
Look, man, that's just Scott being
That's
being a head coach.
Yes.
Like, I understand it's not his narrative, it's not the team's narrative, but at the same time, Casey Thompson's not coming to Nebraska to be a backup when he only has 2 years remaining. Oh, and by the way, he has easily the most experience on this roster.
So I will say this. Let's go ahead and talk about this text line, 402-464-5685. Let's head over to it. So send in any thoughts, any questions, any comments. We'll get to a good chunk of them, if not all of them today. So empty dumpster, let's revisit this. With all the scholarships going out and being over on scholarships, what do you think they do with the extra ones they are over? Who do you see leaving? All right, let's update on scholarships real quick. So like I said, they got the running back AJ Allen. Notice how I said it just kind of in the middle because I'm not 100% sure if it's AJ or Ajay. So they have the running back Allen, who is going to be a freshman, former TCU commit. Obviously, they had some coaching changes there, so he was kind of back open on the market. And then wide receiver Bonner, who was a Georgia Tech commit since April, decided not to sign in the early signing period, and now Nebraska flipped him. So that's 2 receivers. So that means that Nebraska is now with 7 scholarship running backs. And Scott Frost kind of actually talked about this. Let's go ahead and play that clip. So Scott Frost kind of talked about the running back room as a whole because they have 7 guys now in that room.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job at that position last year, but we needed to get better. We were really young at the position. Ramir being a sophomore and Yant basically a freshman and Gabe a freshman and other guys. We were short numbers there too, and so we've added a few here with AJ being the latest. And again, I think the talent level in that room, watching them run around, is going to be really good. They're learning new terminology and some new scheme right now, just like everybody else. And may the best man win.
So Nebraska,
I like that last.
May the
part.
best man
May
win.
the best man win. You've got all of these skilled guys in that running back room. You're not gonna play favorites. You have a guy who you trotted out as the starter last year, who ended up being injured. You had a guy who was the starter 4 games into the season until the last 2 games when he got injured. So you've got a wide open running back room and letting the best man step up to the plate, and whoever gets the hit takes the start. I'm really excited about that running back room.
Well, so Gabe Irvin will be limited here in the spring because of that injury he suffered in Oklahoma. So Frost did say he'll be limited this upcoming spring. So that's something to take into account. But also, so Nebraska has 7 guys in that room, and they've added Emmett Johnson, AJ Allen, Anthony Grant, and I'm going to put a toss-up in the air for DeAndre Jackson, who isn't going to be expected till May if he gets here at all. So let's just act like he's not going to be a member of the team come fall.
That could be.
Let's
one of
talk
the
about
ones.
this.
We're talking empty dumpster for some of the guys that might
Not show
again.
up.
This is not us saying what we know because we do not know. This is just us guessing.
Mm-hmm. So that means that Nebraska has 7 guys in the running back room with the commitment of that new wide receiver Bonner from Georgia, or a flip from Georgia Tech. They are now at 14 scholarship wide receivers in that room. So that could be a room that you see some attrition for sure. And then also quarterbacks always going to be one of those with 5 scholarship guys.
Well, he did say that they like to carry 5.
They do. But it's the position that they've put Logan Smothers in now, or that maybe it's not. You can't even put it all on the staff. I'm guessing it's what position Logan Smothers has kind of put
fallen
himself
into.
into.
I don't know if he put him. I feel like you can
Played
put this on.
into?
You can put this on the staff. You really can't blame him for
Not having
committing
opportunities.
to Nebraska. Wanting to
Yep.
play at Nebraska, having a guy who he knows is the starter in front of him, and thinking, okay, in 2 years, 3 years, he'll be gone. I'll be next up, and then COVID happening. And Adrian Martinez staying that year and then transferring and him not getting any type of opportunities.
Mhm.
Like, you can't really put
That's
that
a good
on
point,
him.
Rico. That's a really good point. Yeah, I would agree with that. So let me update you guys where they're at on numbers. They have total guys on the roster right now, 92 scholarships. And so the number is 85, but Scott also mentioned kind of something in there today about when their guys enter the portal, they're given a couple extra. It's very confusing once you get down into the minor details of it. So we'll see how they go along with it. But right now, if we just want to look at what they know, they are 7 scholarships over the normal limit. Okay, Tiny Pig. Perfect.
Hi,
Says,
Tiny Pig.
can they win with 4-star running backs and wide receivers without a dominating offensive lines? Doesn't seem like the Big Ten way. All right, let's go ahead and talk about this offensive line because darn well Scott Frost was asked about it. Excuse me. So Frost talked just general thoughts on the offensive line, and because they have, and we'll talk about the center position, they lose Cam Jurgens, and at center, specifically, Trent Hickson and Justin Evans Jenkins are the only two guys listed. Now, we've mentioned before, Nuri Nouili will be one of the guys that you thought may move over. And then he was also asked about a guy like Turner Corcoran playing center. So we'll touch on all that here. This is Scott Frost's just general thoughts on the offensive line room.
I gotta find that one. Hold on.
Oh, all right, that's all
I
right.
got the how many possibilities are at center one.
Okay, so there's that one, and then it's also thoughts on the O-line.
There it is. Got it.
Perfect.
I found it, everybody. It's okay. I can do my job.
I like our talent there, and we got a lot of returning experience. We thought we needed to add some guys to get more bodies in the room. We were low on numbers there too, coming off the season with a couple departures. So, we got a couple guys come in that are transfers. Looking forward to, just like the other positions I mentioned, to watching them compete against everybody else. We got a couple guys who are going to be out for spring up front, so there's going to be a lot of reps. Some guys coming back that played a whole bunch last year that looking forward to have Donnie work with to see if we can make some strides. And I don't know for sure yet where the pieces will fit together up front, but spring ball will help us tell that.
Let's just go right into it.
We've got coaches' nicknames.
He was Donnie. He was asked about the center position, right? Who's going to replace Cam Jurgens? How many possibilities are there? Here's what he has.
There's a bunch of guys in the conversation. Turner's a guy I think is probably capable of playing all 5 positions if we needed him to. Did a great job at left tackle, looked great at right tackle when we moved him over when Teddy played. Teddy and Turner are both going to miss spring with injuries, so they're around and learning and able to do some things. But again, that's going to help some other guys get reps, and Turner in particular are probably going to have to figure out where he fits the best.
So asked about possibilities at center, he really only mentions Turner Corcoran by name. He mentions they have a bunch of guys who probably could do it, but Corcoran's the only one he mentions by name. I want to see who they have out there since he's going to miss spring, seeing who they have out there during spring balls, the spring games, spring practices, whatever, what have you, who they have in the middle snapping the ball to, whatever quarterback they have back there. Is going to be very interesting because as soon as Corcoran gets healthy, based on this, again, wild speculation, based on the fact that he's the only name mentioned about playing center by name, you would assume that as soon as he gets healthy, he'll be thrust into that competition for the starting center spot. So seeing who is there before him and how well they do, maybe Corcoran stays at tackle or guard since he can play all 5 positions, or they believe he can.
Well, I'm curious how this has changed from years past because outside of center, okay, right? Once they moved Cam Jurgens to center from tight end, it was like, all right, that position, we know who's going to be there. The other 4, they've done mix and matching, right? Turner Corcoran and Prohaska are going to be out for spring ball or for a good portion of it at least. So you wonder, like kind of Rico was saying, it took them 5 weeks last season to find the right group. Well, that group did not include a couple of the guys that obviously started the season. So you wonder, have those guys kind of stepped up? Have they began to take the job? Are they going to take this opportunity and make a leap? Like if they jump the injured guy, okay, like great.
It happens.
Because that shows that there is competition, that there's some will there.
Mm-hmm.
In years past, it's just been who's the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with the running back room. With 7 guys like Rico, yeah, it's exciting. And with what he said about what Scott Frost said about, the guy taking a job, may the best man win, or whatever the phrase was, like, great. But if you're going to go running back by committee once again,
mm-hmm.
how much are we really going to be able to get guys into a mojo, into a groove? So like, what's the plan there? Because that's something that has been happening the last couple of years, is running back by committee. And if we're going to try that again, that's fine. But what's going to make this year different than in years past?
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what you believe, him saying, may the best man win, and all the talent that they have back there. As soon as that best man does win,
mm-hmm.
that person takes the bulk of the snaps at running back. You're not running with running back by committee, because in the past they haven't had anybody, jump forward, snatch the reins, and proclaim, I am the starting running back. This is my job. Nobody's going to take it from me. So hopefully during this offseason, and like you said, we don't know what's going to change. Hopefully this offseason, somebody steps up, somebody shows all the skill, all the tricks in their bag, and is able to step up to the plate and claim that number 1 running back spot, as you would hope so. I mean, and with the offensive line, the injured guy, if he gets jumped, for a fact, if that person was a starter, Turner Corcoran, Teddy Prohaska,
mm-hmm.
Teddy Prohaska for 1.5, 1.25 games.
Yeah.
That's going to make them work even harder to get that spot back. And That's exactly what you want, at least with this football team, and with every football team and every position group, is the competition and the want to be the starter. Like if you're the starter, you can't rest, because the guy directly behind you, the guy 2 spots behind you, is working that much harder to take your spot. Yes, They want you to succeed, because that is for the betterment of the team. And if you're a team player, that's what you want. But at the same time, you as yourself believe, if I can get in there, I can help the team more. Yes, I'm going to root for you. Yes, I'm going to cheer for you. Yes, I'm going to hope that you do everything in your power to help this team get over the hump and win games. But in my heart of hearts, I think I'm better than you. I think I should be starting. So that's where that competition and that hard work is going to come from in these groups.
So I think that's definitely something that we'll talk about as we go along. Obviously, the running back room and offensive line room are really intriguing for me personally, because they're going to have to really figure out a group up front that works well together. Now, once again, they have time in terms of before the season starts. Long-term time, not so much, but short-term, in terms of August 27th, when they play Northwestern, they have time. They have all of spring ball to figure out a group that works best, or what they believe is the best group possible for them right now. Let's run through the special teams really quickly, because there were a couple interesting thoughts before we get to Aaron Sorensen of Hail Varsity here in a little bit. So he mentions Bill Bush. One thing, we won't play this clip, but one thing that he did say, they added a lot of specialists over the offseason. People may have thought that, maybe that's because they just want to make competition. Well, Daniel Cherney's going on medical scholarship, so for a knee issue. So Daniel Cherney will not be the punter for Nebraska. It won't be even in the conversation because of being on medical scholarship. So then he was asked, how is special teams going to look different this year? Because there's been a lot of talks about changing things every year they've been here. Finally, they get a full-time special teams coordinator in Bill Bush, and they get a lot of additions through the portal and just other guys, that freshman from the Kansas area as well. So how is special teams going to look different? Here's Coach Frost.
I'd say first and foremost, what you said, we got to do a better job at specialists last year than we did last year. And it wasn't all necessarily those kids' fault. We had a kicker that had a great year the year before and just had some injury issues, and did well at times punting the ball, and other times it was disastrous. And I think, trying to get those guys in there will certainly help. We haven't had a returner that we feel great about bringing the ball out of the end zone on kickoff or giving us a chance to score on punt return. So I would speak to that I think every year we've been here, the overall athletic ability and speed of our team has gotten better. I think that should help us in the return game and the kick coverage game.
So we actually heard part of the next question there. They asked, is Trey Palmer, the transfer from LSU, one of the guys you're hoping to put back at returner? Here's Coach Frost with what he had to say of who are you hoping to put back at returner, because they haven't been able to field kicks out of the end zone, kickoffs, right? And punt return has kind of been abysmal as well. So here's Coach Frost.
Yeah, there's several in the receiver room, running back room, and DB room that I think have the capability to do it. Trey certainly being one of them.
Short and simple.
There's a lot of people. We'll see who gets it.
One thing, Mickey Joseph tweeted out that one day, every part of my wide receiver room will be able to play special teams or something to that effect. So
Exciting.
there's definitely excitement once again. Like I started out the show saying, they're saying all the right things once again. Now that's part one, right? They've made changes and now they're saying all the good things. Part one is complete. Now part two is putting in the work in the spring and leading up to the fall to put a quality product out there that can go win you football games. More importantly, the close football games, the toss-up football games on a Saturday afternoons. So we'll see how that goes. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll get to Aaron Sorensen of Hill Varsity next up on the Happy Hour.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Singert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Southeast Community College is training tomorrow's workforce today with our nearly 60 career and technical programs. We are doing our part to help employers fill vacancies during this current labor shortage, graduating students with skill sets employers are seeking. We're also helping to upskill the workforce by adding short-term credentials like certificates in many programs so that employees can get retraining quickly. Learn more about upskilling with SCC at southeast.edu/academics. SCC, your path to possible.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Gentlemen, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Don't be that guy running to the store for flowers and a card on your way home. Hey, Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. We have great Valentine's gifts in store now. And if you spend $99, we'll throw in a free bouquet of a dozen roses. Give her what she really wants this year and let us do the rest. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, your hometown jeweler since 1905 in Lincoln and Grand Island. Online at sartorheyman.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric ensures our home and office HVAC systems run smoothly throughout the year to provide maximum comfort and convenience. Routine maintenance reduced our operating costs just by improving the efficiency of our unit. Consider a maintenance agreement to ensure you too receive priority for services and scheduling. This helps meet manufacturer warranty requirements. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill has 2 Lincoln locations that are great for any occasion. If you're downtown for a basketball game or a concert, stop by their newest spot at 10th and P. Don't forget to check out their social media pages to learn about any concerts on stage at Rosie's. If you want to avoid a busy downtown scene, head over to the original Rosie's just south of 14th and Highway 2 for a feeling of your local hometown bar. There's plenty of TVs at both places and great food and drink. What are you waiting for? Rosie Sports Bar and Grill at 10th and P and on South 14th Street.
Prescription opioids can be addictive and dangerous.
Opioid pain medication took everything that I had. Nothing mattered more than getting my fix. Knowing that it could have been prevented makes it worse. It just takes one.
Prescription opioids. It only takes a little to lose a lot. Developed by CDC.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services and aired in cooperation with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Casey's General Store is giving you the chance at winning 2 free tickets to a Nebraska home basketball game this season. Stop by any Casey's location in Lincoln throughout basketball season, enter your name into the registration box, and you'll have a chance to win 2 tickets to an upcoming Nebraska basketball game. Every drawing will occur at least 24 hours before the game that has its selected winner. So make sure to get to any Casey's in Lincoln today for your chance at 2 free tickets for Nebraska men's basketball games.
Hi, welcome to Big Chain Bar and Grill. Can I get you a drink? Which game were you hoping to see? Doesn't matter. I don't know what channel the game's on anyway. Are you ready to order? Okay, here's your check. Come back and see us again, okay?
What?
Hey, welcome back into Upside.
Slow down and enjoy the game at the Upside Bar and Lounge. Comfortable seating, plenty of screens, a great food and drink menu, and no one trying to shove you out the door. Come in, hang out, and take it all in at the Upside Bar and Lounge, open daily just east of 27th and Pine Lake.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, back here on the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick and Rico with you on signing day. We bring in Aaron Sorensen of Hail Varsity here on the Happy Hour. Good afternoon, Aaron. How's it going? Are you staying warm? Because today is brutal.
Yes, I'm good. I am currently inside. I'm inside Memorial Stadium. So as we were saying before we came on air, I live here now, actually. Like I can't physically leave. I have to stay here now.
That sounds like a great plan to stay warm. Okay, so I'll start with a general question. You were at Scott Frost's press conference. We've played a couple of his sound bites talking about Casey Thompson and stuff. Just what were your overall takeaways? What kind of stood out to you from what Scott Frost had to say?
I will say I was kind of laughing when he was talking about like the narrative not being his of the job being Casey Thompson's, because we've talked about that. You know, the reality is when you bring someone like Casey Thompson to your program, whether or not you want that to be the narrative, it is going to be it. But we talked about that last week, that I still think, you know, there's going to be competition. We would be remiss not to say that there won't be. But, you know, the things that stood out to me is he's very clear about that on the quarterback competition, that there will be a competition. And again, I think that's important. You want to see players compete. That's what makes them better. And I don't know if I don't think anyone sees that as a bad thing, but I definitely wouldn't see it or view it as a bad thing. But outside of that, I mean, beyond just even the recruiting things, he gave some updates on, you know, player injuries. We finally got some clarity on what was going on with Daniel Cherney and how he will finish out his career at Nebraska or get his degree, but he's going on a medical scholarship. And then we just got like insight on like what he thinks about the new coaches. So I think overall it was a good kind of like set the tone about 3.5 weeks before spring football. And I think that's what you wanted from a day like today.
We're speaking to Aaron Sorensen of Hail Varsity here on the Happy Hour on the Ticket. And Aaron, I'm curious, how much credit should be given to Scott Frost for what he's done over these last 3 months? I mean, completely revamped his staff. They put together a pretty decent recruiting class after it was looking pretty bleak throughout the course of the season. I mean, how much credit should we be giving Coach Frost and company here?
I mean, he definitely deserves credit. He's the head coach. He's the person in charge ultimately at the end of the day. But I mean, I've seen it on Twitter, and I agree with everyone who has said something. A ton of credit to Mickey Joseph. Mickey Joseph has come in and immediately been just an impact recruiter, an impact coach. You're seeing some of these new hires pay off very quickly, at least on the recruiting front. And I think if you were to look at, I think one of the MVPs of this staff so far, it would be Mickey Joseph. He has done some serious work. But even beyond Mickey Joseph, you look at some of what Brian Applewhite was able to do today by getting a running back, but then also the fact that Sean Beckton, who is focused on the state of Georgia and was able to help flip, was able to flip the wide receiver from Georgia to Nebraska. There's a lot of like really positives here, but like I said, if you're going to give an MVP status out, definitely give it to Mickey Joseph. But you still have to give Frost some credit too, because it is his team. He is the head coach. He can't be completely left out of that discussion.
We're speaking to Aaron Sorensen, Hail Varsity. Aaron, so they signed 2 more players, running back and a wide receiver here today. That puts them 7 over the scholarship limit. What do you see as the future for this roster?
There's definitely going to have to be some attrition. We know that to be true. That's just the inevitability of it. And I think, it'll be interesting to see where that attrition comes from, but with spring ball on the horizon, we'll start to see positions settle themselves out quickly. And I don't want to say quickly in the fact that you might know who a starter is come, already before you get to like fall camp. But I do think you are going to start to see maybe, here's some players who are rising and maybe some who are staying stagnant. Maybe those that don't feel that they're moving up, move on. Obviously, there are injuries that we'll see what they look like long term. But overall, I think it just tells us that we're going to see some attrition. And I expect to see that, like any year, at the conclusion of spring ball, we'll have a better idea. But yeah, I would say definitely expect more attrition at this point.
I'm curious what your thoughts were on Scott Frost's comments about them always looking to see if they could add somebody in the portal. I mean, if one position group that I kind of think about is like interior defensive linemen, because they lose Jordan Riley to Oregon to follow, Tony Tuioti. And now you look at that interior defensive lineman spot, and it's Nash Hutmacher, Jalen Weaver, and Marquise Black. Now, 3 guys that there's promise, but little experience, right? So what were your thoughts on them being up front saying we're always looking to add talent?
It's not shocking. He did say that they're also looking to add somebody who would be able to just evaluate the portal full time. He brought up the fact that like Major League Baseball teams have people who are constantly evaluating and constantly keeping an eye. You're always looking at trades and different things and different options. And so you have the potential of them looking to bring that person on full time. I've actually jokingly, I don't know if these people are joking. I've seen people on Twitter already saying, where do I apply? So that's kind of funny. But I don't think that that's a bad thing necessarily with the way that the transfer portal has started to shift college football. I think people have to always be looking. I think if you aren't, you're going to miss out on a potential impact player. And in some cases, there might be spots on your roster, like interior defensive linemen, where you think, maybe this would be a spot where if somebody comes available, we go and we get them because they could make an immediate impact, provide depth, or even start. I just think this is the name of the game now. I think the transfer portal has changed how you have to consistently, you consistently have to be keeping an eye on that portal. And so it makes sense that they would want someone full-time doing it, but they're not the only school that's going to be constantly evaluating. So I think this is just the way that college football is going. And if you're a current player, you're almost not even competing for spots against those that on your roster right now. You're competing against spots from potential players that come in. So I think this is the way that college football is going, which Frost did say it. Doesn't really matter what he thinks at this point. It's just the way it is. So it's just how you have to adjust. And I think that's going to also change how players maybe perceive their own spots and their own competition going forward.
Okay, so taking Nebraska out of the mix there, what are your just personal thoughts on the transfer portal since a year ago? I mean, how has it shifted? What are your personal beliefs on the transfer portal if it's good for college football?
I have no issue with the transfer portal. I know this is it's one of those things where it's like a controversial opinion to some, but not to others. I think that's just the nature of it at this point. I'm a big believer in the fact that it's your life. You need to be able to live it and I don't like the conversation around loyalty and all of this stuff, that if somebody needs to transfer for reasons that are personal to them, whether it's their own mental health, whether it's just not a good scenario, or maybe they see a better opportunity elsewhere, knowing that so many athletes, not just in football, but in other sports, are looking for opportunities also beyond just their time in college. They're looking to set themselves up for the future. I have no issue with the transfer portal. I think it gives players freedom. I think it gives players the opportunity to control their story, their narrative, their futures. It obviously comes with its own downsides, but not having a portal also comes with its own downsides. Not having this would trap players under this guise of loyalty into situations that maybe aren't good for them. aren't good for their mental health, aren't good for this. There are so many scenarios where not having it could also be detrimental. So I understand when people are critical of it, that there are kinks and things that still need to be worked out, and there are going to be hiccups and things that don't make people happy. But I think in the end, it's the right thing for college football and college sports in general. I think it will ultimately calm itself down. Everyone will start to kind of get the hang of what it looks like, especially when teams hire these people to just like sit and watch them. But I think right now it's exciting. It's this, and you're going to see movement, but just like anything, it'll find its kind of future path in college football. But no, I don't have an issue with it. I know that's not always popular to some people, but I am good with do what you got to do, live your life.
So this is kind of a two-parter question. A couple more before we let you go. We're talking to Aaron Sorensen of Hale Varsity. Nebraska flips A.J. Allen from TCU this morning at 9 a.m. or around that time, puts him at 7 scholarship running backs currently. I don't know if there's also an update on DeAndre Jackson, who was, kind of expected to be here in May. I don't know what his status is. I don't know if you have an update on that. So that's kind of part one. But in part two is what are the pros to having 7 scholarship running backs in a room that Nebraska hasn't really had one guy have consistent success in years past?
Yeah, I think with, that is one where like Nebraska needs to find a consistent run game. We've talked about that before. You cannot have your running game. You can't have your run game run entirely through your quarterback. And it won't when your quarterback is someone like Casey Thompson or Bubba, I just like completely.
Chubba Purdy.
Thank you.
You were
My
close.
Goodness,
you were close
my
with
brain
Bubba.
wanted to call him like 4 different things. But anyway, you're not going to have them run the ball all that. So you need your running backs to be able to do their job. Now you need your offensive line to do their job too. But to go to DeAndre Jackson, I don't want to misspeak. But my understanding of his situation is he just wasn't eligible for the spring, but still plans to enroll this summer. So as long as things stay on track, if he gets himself in a good position, he should be able to. And I think that's ultimately then on him if it's something that he wants. But I know he came out and said, hey, the rumors aren't true. But it just sounds like instead of enrolling, for the spring semester, he'd be looking at enrolling in the summer as long as things go the way that he says they will. So again, it's now in his hands to make that happen. But it really sounds like Nebraska just wants to guarantee that it has depth and it has what it needs to be successful at the running back spot, considering it's been a rough go the last few years. I mean, outside of, a couple of, players here and there, it hasn't been consistent. It really hasn't been consistent at all. So I think adding to that room and especially giving yourself some like cushion in case things don't go well here or there is not a bad thing. So I'm not surprised to see a large number of players added to this. And I think, this came up a couple of times today from Frost. May the best man win. I understand that was used as quarterback, but it feels very relatable to the running back spot as well.
All right, Aaron, since today is National Women's and Girls in Sports Day, I want to know who you look up to as a woman in sports and why.
I look up to so many women in sports. One is Laura Oakman. She is somebody that I admire so deeply because she doesn't just go out and set a great example as, a broadcaster, but she actively puts the work in. She started the foundation Galvanize, which is actively working to connect women and get women connected all across the country, but provide opportunities, support women, everything else in this industry and beyond. It's definitely when somebody says I support something, she has put her money where her mouth is and she has created something really foundational. But I grew up watching Linda Cohn on SportsCenter, so I'm always going to be a big Linda Cohn fan. And there's just so many women that I could sit and rattle off. And we are super fortunate here in Nebraska to have a number of awesome women. One is on the ticket as well. You have so many great women who work for TV stations, work on the radio, who work behind the camera, who work for the newspapers, who work for other beats and outlets here locally. And all I can say is keep supporting all of those women. Ellie French, who works for KTV in Omaha, shared a tweet with a number of those women included. Go find them, follow them, support them, because we get better when we keep making this space more inclusive. And so there's my little spiel for today. But I'm just super fortunate to get to be a part of so many incredible women who work on this beat.
That's awesome. Awesome stuff, Aaron. As always, can't wait to talk to you next Wednesday when we get to talk Husker football some more. Appreciate the time as always.
As long as I stay warm, but
Absolutely.
Stay tuned. I may still be at Memorial Stadium.
Yeah, that's
so
your
we'll
house.
find out.
That's your house now. So just make yourself at home. You can probably use a couple of jerseys, stitch them together, and you got yourself a nice blanket. You got a bunch of stuff there.
Yes, exactly.
I'm sure there's Valentinos for you. So appreciate it as always. We'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
There's Erin Sorensen of Hale Varsity. Appreciate her taking some time with us as always. All right, let's take our final time out. When we come back, call now 402-464-5685. $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge for Nick's Trivia is up next. The question, who was Nebraska's highest rated commit in last year's class, according to 24/7 Sports? We'll do that next. Call now, 402-464-5685. Next up on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is Sean Callahan with Koppel Chevrolet GMC. New vehicle production has been increasing, but the lots will not be filling up anytime soon. In fact, most vehicles are being pre-sold and are leaving the same week as they arrive. If you want your new Chevrolet or GMC, this is a great time to build a vehicle and place an order. Our sales team will work right with you to build the exact vehicle you want. At Koppel, we appreciate your business and sell vehicles at a fair price. So come check us out or visit us online at koppelcars.com.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Pleased and honored to be joined by Nebraska volleyball coach John Cook.
If Trev wasn't interested, I would have done it in a heartbeat because I just felt like Nebraska athletics, we were at the edge of the cliff. We had to do something, get somebody in here to build this athletic department back up. I thank my lucky stars every day that Trev's our guy now.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi, welcome to Big Chain Bar and Grill. Can I get you a drink? Which game were you hoping to see? Doesn't matter. I don't know what channel the game's on anyway. Are you ready to order? Okay, here's your check. Come back and see us again, okay?
What?
Hey, welcome back into Upside.
Slow down and enjoy the game at the Upside Bar and Lounge. Comfortable seating, plenty of screens, a great food and drink menu, and no one trying to shove you out the door. Come in, hang out, and take it all in at the Upside Bar and Lounge, open daily just east of 27th and Pine Lake.
Casey's General Store is giving you the chance at winning 2 free tickets to a Nebraska home basketball game this season. Stop by any Casey's location in Lincoln throughout basketball season, enter your name into the registration box, and you'll have a chance to win 2 tickets to an upcoming Nebraska basketball game. Every drawing will occur at least 24 hours before the game that has its selected winner. So make sure to get to any Casey's in Lincoln today for your chance at 2 free tickets for Nebraska men's basketball games.
Today on Hey Culligan, unnecessary contaminants. Here's the referee.
Hey Culligan, that's a flag on my water for flagrant foul taste.
Ooh, that's a tough one, ref, but the solution is a Culligan Smart RO drinking water system that reduces up to 58 contaminants, making your water safer and delicious.
Yeah, I guess I missed that call.
And with the Culligan Connect app, you always know when your filters need changing.
The water's up and it's good.
Good call, ref, and we're already on the way.
Try a Culligan water softener for just $9.95 per month. Go to CulliganLincoln.com.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill has 2 Lincoln locations that are great for any occasion. If you're downtown for a basketball game or a concert, stop by their newest spot at 10th and P. Don't forget to check out their social media pages to learn about any concerts on stage at Rosie's. If you want to avoid a busy downtown scene, head over to the original Rosie's just south of 14th and Highway 2 for a feeling of your local hometown bar. There's plenty of TVs at both places and great food and drink. What are you waiting for? Rosie Sports Bar and Grill at 10th and P and on South 14th Street.
Now what do? Football is over. The weather's crappy. Man, I tell you what, it's a perfect time to go car shopping. This is Carl from Price Right Auto. Come out to Price Right in Westo and you'll find over 100 great vehicles at some great prices. With our non-commissioned sales process, we let you control the sale. We won't let you get a lemon since we back every one of our vehicles with our peace of mind 3-month warranty. If you want a hassle-free car buying experience, check out our website, PriceRightAuto.com. Come see a great selection of affordable used cars on Westo Street at Price Right Auto.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Cloudy skies and cold temps expected here for our Wednesday. We may see a few flakes around the region, only a high of 19. And with a northeast wind gusting over 20, it will feel even colder. A low tonight all the way down to 1. Gradually clearing skies tomorrow, still cold with a high of around 19 again. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Gentlemen, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Don't be that guy running to the store for flowers and a card on your way home. Hey, Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. We have great Valentine's gifts in store now. And if you spend $99, we'll throw in a free bouquet of a dozen roses. Give her what she really wants this year and let us do the rest. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, your hometown jeweler since 1905 in Lincoln and Grand Island. Online at sartorheyman.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is going to be great. Hello, Chris. If you're not on the Sartor Heyman Jewelers video stream, you just missed the whole point of that. Okay. But it's all good. All right, back here on the Happy Hour, 402-464-5685. Honda Lincoln Hotline. Call now, $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge for Nick's Trivia. Question is, who was Nebraska's highest commit in last year's class, according to 24/7 Sports? Let's go to the phone lines. We have Adam, who's been patiently waiting. Adam, what's up? How's your Wednesday going, man? Adam.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Give him the horn.
Bye-bye.
All
Next
right.
up,
we go to my boy, Nick. Nick, how's it going, man? How's your Wednesday?
Oh, it's good. How's yours?
It's going well. Make sure that radio's down also. All right, so Nick, who was Nebraska's highest commit in last year's class, according to 24/7 Sports?
Thomas Sidoni.
It sure was. Congratulations,
Yeah,
Nick.
go Big Red.
Yes. Drink the Kool-Aid. Stay
Let's
on the
go.
line. Stay on the line. Jake will grab your information. You win $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge. Appreciate
Beautiful.
you playing.
we have a special guest.
Yes. Mark. Hello.
Marcus.
Hey, guys.
There he is.
Hey, guys.
There he is. Put him on the stream. 402-464-5685. Just if you want to send
Why
in
did
your
you send that?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I tell you, I get
Put
a
him
little
on the stream.
ever
to the
since
stream.
Put him on the stream. Here's the number.
Ever since Mark came in and was like, should I be like Chris Collinsworth? I have not stopped thinking about that. So, all right, Mark, you have some Frontier baseball news?
Frontier League. Yeah. So I believe they're one of the leagues that is trying out experimental rules for Major League Baseball. So one they're implementing this year is sudden death baseball.
Sudden death.
Exactly like that. So they're going into extra innings. They're going to start with a runner on second. That's not new. That's what the major leagues did last year. However, if you get to the 11th inning, which is just two.
No, it's one.
Well, what 2 extra?
Yes.
You have played
Yes.
one.
One actually, yeah.
We get to the 11th. They go to the sudden death format. So the home team gets to decide whether they're on offense or defense. The offensive team, whichever one that ends up being, the offensive team gets to start with a runner on first, and then they get 3 outs. If they score, they win. If they don't, the defensive team wins.
I see zero problems.
Game
with
is
this.
over no matter what after that half inning.
So I think what you would do is you boost your pitching staff. I think that's the way you would go.
I have a better idea.
Go ahead, Rico. Let's hear it.
So my idea for sudden death is sudden death baseball is that you always have to have some type of rookie or somebody that doesn't have a hit in the majors or whatever league you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And you go into extras, and the first team to have a guy get his first hit wins.
That could take a while.
That could take a while.
But
And that's
it
kinda one of the
entices
complaints.
having, new players. So, just in case, somebody turns out to be a star. You never know because you never brought him up.
That's weird. I'm
Guess
not on
what?
board with that.
You bring
I
him
am
up, he
not.
becomes a star. He gets his first hit, and wins your team the game, you get him in the next game, he's a star. He never comes out.
Is that part of it? They have to play the next
They
game.
have
too?
to start the next
I
game.
don't like that one.
It's a great idea.
I don't like that one. That's like my idea with NFL overtime, saying just have your field goal kickers, whoever can kick the longest field goal. You just go back together.
You just keep going.
And whoever can kick the
I
longest.
don't mind that either, actually.
A lot of broken toes.
If you're kicking the ball right, no broken toes.
Well, it could be. I mean, imagine if you
Literally
had,
zero broken toes.
Imagine if you had McPherson versus Robbie Gould.
Sign me up for that.
2 kickers that were just
money, cash,
automatic this weekend, these last couple weeks.
So what
they're
do you do?
kicking 55
Give
yard
me
field
Justin
goals.
Tucker versus Brandon McManus in Mile High.
In your scenario,
What are we in 2016?
What do you do? They both make 54. They both miss 55.
You go until they make it. See,
Go-
that's exactly.
Then
the
you
problem.
go 54 and a half.
No. Then it's a coin toss. No, that's the problem with my thought is that then you
Because they're just gonna get more and more tired.
Well, that's why it's
the more you
called.
make them do it.
That's why it's called sudden death. If you make 54, you both miss 55. You die.
You die. So all right.
yeah, your thoughts on the actual one that's on the table?
Yeah, the actual one, the
That's
baseball
happening.
one.
The baseball one,
Yeah.
I actually don't mind it. I don't know
Really?
if I would go. I'd
I
actually
hate it.
Like it makes you. It's a way. It's something new. It's not going to ever happen in the majors.
You don't know that.
It's the same thing as like robot umpires. They're,
gonna be-
never bringing them to the majors.
Yeah, they will.
But also, I do not want robot umpires. I think those are the stupid ones. Like I hated how they have the K zone now, because also a lot
Dude, I love
of
K-zone.
people, a lot of people look at it and say, "Oh, the K zone, the umpires are missing all these pitches."
100%.
The way I look at it is, holy cow, the K zone! Look at how good these umpires are.
No.
They will call it. We're talking like a quarter of an inch.
You're also a guy that doesn't like framing pitches, so
You don't frame it, you receive it.
you receive.
You don't frame pitches, you receive it. Whatever, dude. We'll talk about this tomorrow.
Will we?
Yes.
All right, we will. And I'll let you know why K zone is great.
No, K zone is bad.
Without K zone, what are you framing?
Yeah.
There's no box. to
K
frame.
zone is
I mean,
absolute, just like the first down markers in the NFL.
We're done for today. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. See ya.
Adios.